Hello. And welcome to Ridge Home. Colorado State Home for Mental Defectives. Opened 1909. It is now closed. And this is what is left of 310 acres. The first patient came here in 1912. Now, back in the day, in the 1940s, there were many practices here that were a little brutal, and sterilization was practiced on a regular basis. Children were put into cages in the tunnels that lie underneath this property for time out. That was back right about the 1940s. The 1950s, many children were brought here and just dropped off. And they were normal, they were fine. They were just dropped off and they became mentally incompetent just because they were at this place. Starting in the 1970s, as you can see, the place became run down. And much of the buildings were shut down due to crumbling walls, caving roofs. As you can see, the roof up top just got very old, and having a mental asylum nowadays is just not efficient anymore. They also were condemned because they didn't have fire escapes or visible exit paths for emergencies. In the 1980s, there were reports of residents being neglected due to understaffing and lack of funding. At least one member was sent to prison for being convicted of abusing patients and bragging about it to his friends. In 1988, multiple break-ins were reported by thrill-seeking teens and homeless people looking for a warm place to stay. There are reports of whispers and chills, crying children, and things of that nature. And also, the super target on the other side is said to be haunted. The superintendent who worked here, her name was Edith Raftery. She worked here for 17 years without a vacation. Edith was born in 1887 and she passed away in 1971. She took care of 670 children who were housed in these buildings. They had a farm, a hospital. They were completely efficient to live in this property with food and water and medical care. We will go visit Edith Raftery. She is close by. The first patient in 1912 was Ella Parrish Williams, and she's in Littleton Cemetery, and we'll go visit her one day. In 1992 was one of 3 fires set to the homes, this whole Ridge home. It was set by a security guard, and he did end up going to prison for that. In 1992, the cornerstone plaque was taken to the Colorado Historical Society. In 1994, a man was shot just on the other side here. He had an altercation with a security guard, and he got into a fight with him and he was shot. 22 developmentally disabled were confined to Ridge in April of '99 on the main grounds. In 2006, this place was still open. Plans were made to demolish the site, and it took months due to asbestos and filling in the tunnels that lie underneath the property. In the 1980s, there were reports of residents being neglected due to understaffing and lack of funding. At least one member was sent to prison for being convicted of abusing patients and bragging about it to his friends. In 1988, multiple break-ins were reported by thrill-seeking teens and homeless people looking for a warm place to stay. I did have some friends who would come through here, and there were many things left behind. Toys, cribs, chairs with straps on them. As I will show some pictures of this place back in the day. There are reports of whispers and chills, crying children, and things of that nature and also the super target on the other side is said to be haunted. 1909, Ridge Home was a planned mental hospital, 310 acres, named for the Ridge Road Street that it's off of. First patient was in 1912, and by 1936, 260 were admitted of 300. Most were to stay for the rest of their lives. In 2007, the home was all but gone. It's now these buildings, the buildings on the other side, which we are not allowed to photograph due to patient rights. And the super target, which is way on the other side, is the back half of the property. Comments online were of memories from the 70s. One was, I didn't witness abuse or uncleanliness and loved the kids of all ages. Another stated, I don't remember unclean conditions, but a very distinct, odd odor. Conditions were poor nonetheless. Cages were used to enclose patients who were combative and left in the tunnels. Children were packed in wet sheets and ice for misbehaving. Things of that nature. That's why this place is now closed. Some patients were brought here to be dropped off, and then they would be taken also to the Pueblo Insane Asylum. So this was the main one, and the one in Pueblo was also a main property. So we will do a sweep of the buildings one more time. And here we are coming up to Edith Raftery and her husband Daniel. Superintendent and caretaker of many children at Ridge Home. Basically taking care of abandoned children for 17 years. And she never took vacation. I found a cool couple of pictures of her. She looked like a very sweet lady. At a time when they didn't know how to take care of abandoned people. We're getting there. We're getting better. May not always seem like it, but it takes a while for the human race to figure things out. From what I've learned, you gotta have patience and keep moving, keep doing. So we come here to pay respects to Edith and Daniel Raftery. Rest easy and at peace in this quiet, peaceful, tranquil cemetery. Nestled right here, base of the foothills, right as you get into the mountains.